Oh, true believers. It's Matt here at Heroes for Hire Comic Club. Um, as you can tell, it's Tuesday, so that means it's time for another episode of Comic Conversations. We got a very special guest tonight. He's a man of many talents. He's got a YouTube channel called From the Desk of a Small Publisher. He is the creator of Zygency Studios. I've been trying to work on pronouncing that name because I'm bad at pronouncing names. But anyway, and he's on Instagram. It's Joe D. McFee.
Yep, Woo! Here I am. Hey, here I am. Doing all right. It's a Tuesday after a major holiday, so it's kind of like one of those weird nostalgia type feelings, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like everybody's trying to get back into the flow of things, I guess. But I don't know. It was a pretty good holiday, I think. For me, I don't know. Was your holiday okay?
Well, again, whenever you have barbecue on one day, is okay.
Exactly. That's what I say. But I really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. So why don't you, before we get into everything you got going on, the basic question for everybody is, how did you get into comics and writing comics and creating it and even collecting them when you were younger?
Okay. There's two parts of that question that have different answers.
Okay.
How I started collecting and how I got into creating are two separate, really two separate.
Well, I know. But
how I got into collecting was more so because of having back in the day, you know, when I was 6, 7, they tested me saying that I had low reading comprehension back in the day. So that was a way for them to get me to start reading. So they was always trying to put me in front of some type of book one way or the other, whether it be different novels and stuff, but comic books seem to kind of work a little bit more than actual books itself. So that's how the collecting aspect started. I still remember my very first comic. Most people can never guess it.
I'll just guess something because I'll probably be wrong. Was it well, give me a hint. Was it a Marvel, DC, or independent?
Marvel.
Well, you don't want to say like the obvious answer because you said nobody will ever guess it. So I'm going to eliminate Spider-Man and some of the bigger ones. So Howard the Duck.
I will give you one more hit. That one issue also is a key issue.
Is it a one shot?
No.
Oh, it's a key issue. I'm trying to think. Was it Werewolf by Night?
Nope.
What was it? Come on, it's killing me.
Oh, there's Missing Mars. Our very first comic, surprisingly enough, was Uncanny X-Men 191.
All right.
First appearance of Nimrod.
Oh yeah, I think I got that one. Got that.
And I remember that very vividly because my older brother at the time, it's like he was like so amazed that the Vision came in and pretty much busted Colossus into scrap metal. And then later on the issue, it's like, wait a second, how did he survive that? It's like, and that's when we kind of was thinking, it's like maybe he could survive anything while he's in his metal form. And lo and behold, that is the truth if you go and look up his stats and everything.
Art by John Romita Jr. And I think obviously it's no brainer. It was written by, in that era, it's 100% written by Chris Claremont.
Yep.
And so, yeah, well, that's kind of one of the persons I got into is like that. And well, as you know me, G.I. Joe, but it was also Uncanny X-Men. Hey, Ron.
Yep, there's Ron.
To me, Uncanny X-Men, also we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I would always get a book like Justice League or Avengers or X-Men because it had all the characters in it. You know what I mean? So,
but that was back in the day with Jim Shooter.
Yeah,
it's like, you want to read Wolverine, you got to buy X-Men. There was no Wolverine book. Right. There was no Wolverine book.
They had like the mini series, but that was it. Yeah, there wouldn't be Although now I think they rely too much on miniseries, but there was some cool miniseries in the '80s, though. I know that. Like when they
Yep.
did come out, they were kind of special. Um,
Oh, like the very first Secret Wars, or what I consider the very first miniseries in Marvel, which was Contest of Champions.
Contest of Champions. Yep. Yeah, that's the first one that got it all started. Then I think it was yeah, Secret Wars, and then followed by Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think.
Hmm.
Um, so the start of the event. Now we got event fatigue. You know, they had to
You got too
they got to
many
have
events.
yeah, we have to have one every 7 months now. Un- Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
We had an air conditioning problem yesterday. So we had the AC guy show up,
Hmm.
and he looked in the compressor, and it was infested with ants.
Wow.
So now we're out there. They're out there like spraying it. It's fixed now, but like they said, it'll come back. So we got all the little, the little squares you put out. You can
Hmm.
buy it at the hardware store. You put the
Those combat rings or whatever
yeah
it is.
combat rings or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, sorry about the interruption. So yeah, but yeah, that was a good era. I mean, now they kind of back then it was kind of unique, I guess, right? But now it's like, geez, okay.
Every 3 months, it's like, why are you doing this as an event? Why can't it just be a main storyline in a major
Well,
title?
well, yeah, they were good at that because remember, like you'd have the Inferno or the Fall of the Mutants. It may cross over with one other issue of something else, but that was it. It wasn't like a big deal. Or you'd have like the annuals would cross over. Like I don't remember if you remember the one with the Punisher. It was called Life Form, and there was like this weird alien. So it was like Punisher, I think Silver Surfer, and there was like two other annuals, and they had like this thing called Life Form. It's really weird, and I kind of like weird and creepy. So
Well, you made me think about, what was it? Atlantis Attacks,
yeah,
and the one annual that talked about the seven brides for, I forgot what it was, the serpent creature that was in Atlantis.
yeah,
And it had most of like the Marvel women on there. It had She-Hulk, Sue Richards, and a few others as the seven possible brides for this one entity. It was interesting.
yeah. I don't know. Sometimes we had some strange issues too, though. Like I don't know why it made me think of this, but that Avengers 200 has to be the weirdest issue of Avengers I've ever read in my
It
life.
is the worst issue of comics ever.
Yeah, and like what's great about it is I watched a video by Comic Tropes here on
Mhm.
YouTube, and like everybody involved in it blames the other person because they don't want nothing to do with it.
That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was, and it got through edit. It got through editing and everything, and everybody was like, "This should be good." And it's like, no,
No,
no.
just no, stop. Like you know what it reminded me of? Okay, have you ever seen the movie Chinatown?
Which one?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that one I did see.
Where she's like, she's my sister, she's my daughter, she's my sister and my daughter. I'm like, they kind of did that with Carol Danvers. It's like, it's my son, it's my husband. I'm like, what?
Oh, they're
Yeah,
like, no.
yeah, that was just bad. And
Yep.
like, I don't think the Carol Danvers character recovered for that for many years. Probably still hasn't.
Put it this way: in this day and age, there's too many people that hate Carol Danvers
Yep.
for reasons beyond the fact that she's a decent character. They have not done her right in the movies. They did not do her right when they made her Captain Marvel, when she takes over Marvel's mantle.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And
what's messed up is that she shouldn't have taken over the mantle by right, because who had it first? Monica did.
yeah, Monica Rambeau. Yeah,
She had the mantle first, but they treated her use of the mantle as a name placeholder,
yeah,
because
it's
they
kind of like
needed a
yeah,
Captain Marvel to maintain the copyrights to that name here.
yeah. We got Mark said I'd argue there's too many people that like her. It's Captain Marvel, I guess is the way of it.
Mhm.
The fans sure haven't recovered from it. Yeah, pops.
Yep.
And Mark says Miss Marvel and the red sash for the win. Yeah, I like Miss Marvel. That was I don't know. That's just the way I like. I mean, everybody's probably said, "Oh, it's just because you're a gooner. You just like her in that hot outfit." Well, I mean, yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is hot, but like, no, no, no. I think it just suits her better. That's what I remember.
the older suits were better, but it was impractical,
Yeah, yeah,
especially the black with the yellow lightning bolt with the yellow sash.
yeah,
That was impractical. But the one that matches, a little bit more of the Kree uniform, the with like he said, with the red sash, that wasn't bad. Hey,
yeah.
Gunnar, what's that? Yeah,
I'll tell you
for
what
the
it is.
class.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Sorry, Joe. All right.
Yeah, we have to
I'm liable.
define that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just a word they throw around. I guess it's somebody that likes sexy covers. I guess, right? I don't know.
No,
I'm a fan of good girl art.
it's more along the lines. It's like they're the people that would throw money just for anything sexual.
Oh yeah, like on Whatnot is rampant with that. Like, okay, hey, we got this cover. We can't tell you it's Wonder Woman, but we made it look like Wonder Woman, and she's got no clothes on. That's a Gooner book to me. Not like okay, Dave Stevens, a cover with Betty on it from Rocketeer. That's not a Gooner thing to me. That's a good girl art. See, I think sometimes people confuse those two.
Yeah. Oh, see. Now you want me to go back to that conversation that we had before a little bit. We had a little taste of it on Aaron's show. If it came down to, yes, pretty much. We were talking about Dave Stevens versus Matt Baker. That would be a good conversation to have if we're going to talk about good girl art. Who would win that fight? Who would win that?
I think Matt Baker might win that fight. I'm pretty sure he would. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, and I think that Dave Stevens, if he was still here with us, would tell you that his influence came from guys like Matt Baker. So, like, because he grew up in that era, like, because I watched a documentary about him. He grew up loving that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Dynamite comic stayed in business with Gooner covers.
That's true. They were one of the first people that oversaturated Gooner covers, and then Xenoscope started their business exactly that way until they finally got writers, and then people stopped paying attention altogether because they slowly stopped the Gooner books, and they have a mixture of people who like the stories now but don't really care for the art, and you got people who just buy the books for the covers.
Yeah. Well, you got let's say think of Vampirella or Red Sonja. People are like, there are people that actually read it, but but then you have other people that actually just buy it because of the cover art.
I could say the same thing about what was it called, Zombie Tramp.
Oh yeah, Zombie Tramp. There was another one I remember that David Nakayama was doing art for, and it was called instead of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it was called Muffy the Pimp Slayer. It was like when he was early on.
I could probably get behind that if the story of what I think it is, I could probably get behind that.
Yeah. I'd like to get it, but it's like hard to find now. It had a lot of dehydrated fans keeping them afloat. Well, they are I think Dynamite's also the king of the cosplay covers. Yeah, and Pops is right. Matt Baker created the good girl art genre, basically. Yeah. There's been a lot of people that were influenced by him. I mean, you could see his influence now, even on people like Nathan Zerdy, Nakayama, Adam Hughes. Even if they don't know it, they're influenced by him. That's my opinion. I don't know what do you think, Joe?
I think to a certain degree, I want to say people like Darwin Cook too.
Yeah, Darwin Cook. And Bruce Timm. Because like I could see like Bruce Timm, I could see his art on like one of those old B-17 bombers or something,
Yep.
Or same thing with Matt Baker. I'm sure that I guarantee you that if we could talk to some of these old pilots, if they were still alive, that did some of these bomber art, or these guys that worked in the Air Corps, would probably tell you they probably copied Matt Baker.
Yeah, Matt Baker. Now you're making me think about some of these more adult comic type people like Otis Sweat.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the bomber art for adult magazines, and I was like, and now they make you think about it, it's like it could have been Matt Baker influenced.
Yeah.
With exaggerations. It's like good girl art with exaggerations.
Yeah, exactly. Was influenced by Tim was influenced by
Yeah.
but I mean you can still see like shades of it though in anything like that because like I've been wanting to get some of those Jungle comics. Some of them are pretty affordable to be golden age, you know.
The later ones are affordable. The early ones, not so
Yeah,
much.
I know. I saw the older ones. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. But and also I thought about doing a video on him one time because and I may still do it because I'm thinking about doing a where I do a voiceover, you know, and we talk about like an artist. And
Mhm.
Matt Baker would be a great one because I don't know if he's the first, but he's like one of the most remembered. He's got to be one of the first African American or black artists in the comic industry.
Most people don't know that he's black.
I know, I
That's
know.
how bad. That's how messed up it is. It's like everybody loves his art. Back then he was passable, and because the whole it's not really about race. It was more about colorism.
Yeah.
He was passable and everything. He was able to get into the job, and man, he was just knocking stuff out of the park left and right.
No, Sheena.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sheena.
I like Sheena.
Yeah.
I got a Dave Stevens Sheena. It's not the same as the old ones, but it's pretty cool. It's like a 3D comic. I can't remember who did it. Well, I don't got time to look it up. But also, wouldn't you think that I guess you could consider Wally Wood that, but like I had an uncle and I inherited a lot of his stuff. My mom inherited it, and I had to get rid of some of it. But like the artists he liked were like Wallace Wood and Frazetta. Obviously, he liked Frazetta and like Bernie Rice. He kind of liked that fantasy stuff, though. You know, you ever heard of? I know
See, as much
Richard
as people
Corbin.
like
You know,
Bernie
yeah,
Wrightson, I was never a horror person, and I
yeah.
never really seen Bernie Wrightson do like good girl art
No,
or
I
anything
wasn't
like
saying that. I'm just saying, but he had a lot of the
that.
Dave Stevens. What I meant was like he was more of that kind of stuff. But I don't know.
Mhm.
I guess I kind of switched gears there. He was never good girl art. I didn't mean that. I just meant but also I don't know because I've seen Wally Wood do some kind of naughty comics before. He had one called Alice and Malice in Wonderland or something.
Something like that. Yep.
Yeah, so and the cover's got the Mad Hatter on it and the bunny. What's his name? The White Rabbit and
Mhm.
and it's got a completely you don't see her front, but you see her back and it's Alice completely nude on the cover.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I actually probably couldn't even bring it up right now, you know. But okay, now let's get to the second part of the question. We kind of talked about good girl art for a while, but
Okay. The second part. How did
when did
I
yeah
start? How did I
yeah
start professionally in comics here? It goes back to, well, actually I've been drawing comics back in high school and stuff, like for art projects and stuff to that magnitude, just self done. But it wasn't until after I got out of the Air Force where I could was drawing piecemeal back then. But when I got out of the Air Force and went back to college, I joined up with a comic book association that was there, and there was a guy that used to always do anime shows. So he was the one that was kind of convincing me. It's like, hey, come out to this artist alley with me. Let's go ahead and try to make some money. Draw a couple of characters, this, that, and the other. Try to make some money, this, that, and the other. And in that artist alley, I started meeting a whole bunch of people who got me hooked up with comic book printers and to do all this stuff by yourself. It's like the whole self-publishing route as opposed to going to another publisher.
yeah or
And because I
crowdfunding
got
there
that
now, like yeah
information, I just have started developing everything from there and just move forward. 1 year later, Amazonian 1 was done and sent out to the printer, was ready for Wizard World. I want to say 2009.
all right. And so you don't go like a lot of people do the crowdsourcing crowdfunding thing. So you don't even you're
I
completely
tried doing that. I started before crowdfunding became a thing.
So you've been doing it way before we even heard of Kickstarter or GoFundMe or all
Right.
that.
So I had my Amazonia 1, the original Amazonia 1 came out in 2008. Crowdfunding, I believe, really hit its starting mark sometime around 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, what it's like I missed what he said here. It's like to keep the identity of the green turtle creator's secret, he was an Asian American. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true.
well, also they kind of like you had like every now and then, like I know in the '70s a lot, you started seeing more like Latin American artists
Mm-hmm.
kind of creep in too, like with like Perez and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Yeah. So
No,
Joe,
I
you
did
you
not invent crowdfunding. If I invented crowdfunding, I would not be struggling to make books.
so do you just like set it up on your website for like pre-orders or something to try to get the?
Well, pretty much I try to get like an issue done for each one of the titles at least twice a year.
Okay.
So when a new one come out, I'm out here on the YouTube's telling us like, hey, the new one's out, the newsletter, the new one's out, this, that, and the other. And I would tell people, come to this show if you really want it right then and there. And then afterwards, I'm going to put it on the website here.
All right. So like
So
completely
like, for
DIY.
example,
Yeah.
with Legends of the Giantess Slayer and with Primetime Saturday Night #5, we relaunched 5 at C2E2 because we had errors in it. And when I say errors, it was misprinted. There was the ones that we had last year was missing actual text. So we had to go back to print to fix those errors and everything. So we relaunched that, and then we have our brand new Legends of the Giants Slayer that came out this year. So now I'm up to 4 different titles that I'm directly responsible for now,
Okay.
as opposed to anything else here.
You want to bring up the website? Look at the
Yeah, we
titles.
could bring up the website for we could talk about
All
how
right.
you
So
can buy the books and everything.
we want to know. We want everybody to know, like, get a general idea what we're talking about here.
So this is the company website here. This is the C2C Studios website here. So this is where you could come out here. You could sign up for the newsletter. You could find out what the latest books that we have out here. You can even watch our Saturday show from the Deso Small Press Publisher on the website and everything. And we do have fan art galleries and everything. If you submit in, artwork for fan art, we'll put it out there for you.
Okay.
But on the website, if you want to buy the comics, you come up here to where it says shop. And we'll bring you directly to our shop here. And then we have all of the titles over here. So you can look at all of them. You can look at Amazonia, Primetime Saturday Night, AWF, and Legends of the Giantess Slayer if you want the actual printed version. If you want digital downloads, which is the PDFs, you could go to digital downloads and you could get the actual PDF files of all our books here. If you want blank covers, we got them. And then we got, I have to take this down here because we're outside of C2E2, but we had our bulk deals here, which means that you could have got all of the exclusive C2E2 covers for Legends of the Giantess Slayer for like $20 here. You could have got all of AWF for $12. All of Amazonia, including all the variants, I should say, for $60, and then all of the A covers for $22. And then every once in a while we will have sale items, stuff that was on sale and everything here. So we have everything from sketch covers, foil covers, a little bit of everything for everybody here. But that is the fastest way to buy our books here. It's very rare that actual big brick and mortar stores get our books here, because when I do signings, I will bring books to brick and mortar stores and leave them there.
Yeah.
Because and that's a bad thing where entering in like 50-50 consignments on signings,
Yeah.
meaning that when I do the signing, I want to get 50% of the profit from the book. And then from the books that I leave there, they usually either make 100% profit of it or they just get rid of them. I don't know what happens, but not one brick and mortar store that sold my books. I have not seen any, not a penny. Do I write or draw the books or both? The last one, I do both for the majority of them. This primetime Saturday night. This is the foil version 5. 4. I do the writing and the 3D art that goes into it. I do the more traditional artwork, the actual drawing of Amazonia. I do the actual artwork and writing for Amazonia. In the very beginning of AWF, I did issue number 1 of AWF. However, issues 2 through 4 were done by Kimberly Mosberry. Issue number 5 falls back on me. I'm going to take over the actual artwork in issue number 5 here. And Legends of the Giantess Slayer, I do the writing and the actual art using DOS Studio for that. So yeah, I do a lot of the art and writing for it. There was a golden age. Well, the actual character is not named Amazonia. The main character of Amazonia is called Elisa Masters. And I had to kind of rename the book kind of sort of like Amazonia, the Continuing Adventures of E, mainly because of 2 reasons. One, Elisa was not originally intended to be the focus of Amazonia. There was another character by the name of Felicia Knight that would have been the main character of Amazonia, but it just didn't work out correctly because of the simple fact that it would have been kind of like Amazonia, the ever-changing woman. Meaning that because of what had happened, she would be almost like how can I put this? She would have been a weird version of No Face if you remember the whatchamacallit series, Sin City.
Yeah. You want to talk about any of them? Like about the I'm kind of interested in all of them. So what is she doing? What's the book about? I know it's about her adventure.
Which one? It was
Amazonia.
Amazonia is about Elisa Masters, who during her last year of high school was pretty much almost convicted of murder at her school prom. It was pretty much one of those things where it was self-defense and everything, but because at that time, and you have to understand that she was a up and coming young lady and still had growth spurts and everything. She stood close to like 9 foot tall at that time during her high school days here, and being at her size and everything, and pretty much defending herself because she was the one that instigated what actually happened, the fight at the prom, but she pretty much ended it. She was defending her date and everything. Guy pulls out a gun, and next thing you know, people are just embedded in walls, sent through floors, embedded into pillars, into rafters and everything. And lo and behold, some people passed away and everything, and the police came after her, and it became kind of like media driven focused. So after that one event, she was sent away to this one program for a couple of years, and nobody had heard back from her. Issue number 1 is her first day back after 7 years into this one program to help her develop and understand her powers. And during that time, she got quite larger. and everything. But then again, people would not recognize her now, except for her parents. So she comes back, finds out that her hometown is being pretty much inundated and run by a business mogul who has a vendetta for her dad all of a sudden. So as she comes back to be a SWAT team commander for the local police department, she's up here learning bits and pieces about the business mogul and what his true intentions are. And as she goes along here, we get all of the other niceties about that's not the only person after this business mogul. And it becomes kind of like one of those things that's like who's really going after who and why. So it's kind of like one of those, if I could say, police thrillers to try to figure out what's really going on. It's not a Twin Peaks like mystery or anything like that because nobody is dying per se, but it's a lot of controversy about how public opinion of one person could allow them to do so much harm to a greater population of a town here.
Hey,
so that's what Amazonia is about. That's what the first story arc is. Okay. First story arc is about her homecoming and her reestablishing roots in her hometown. By the time I finish up this story arc, we get into story arc number 2, which is Elisa finding out about her mother's side of the family, about what she really is.
Oh.
And then the third story arc after that is while she's away and when she comes back, the police department, after figuring out all, after the whole aftermath of what happened when she came back, they started a new division. And that division is going to be more of a scientific division dealing with superpower beings and metahumans and whatever.
Okay. That's cool. I like
so
the sound of it.
It gets interesting. It gets interesting here. We already shown 2 or 3 different adversaries to the main villain, Tyler Charles, already. And everything is in order. So we're on like we got past the halfway mark. We're in the last 2/3 of the series here, telling the actual story of the first story arc here.
Well, that's cool. I like that because you didn't really give the origin story you got more of an origin story with like when she finds out about her mother's side of the family later on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you kind of leave with breadcrumbs, like what is she? How does she like this? And I like the sound of that. I really do. That's
the best way I could explain what Elisa is if you love Wonder Woman, she's kind of like the reverse Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And when I say a reverse Wonder Woman, yes, she is an Amazon, but we're taking the aspect of an Amazon from South America. We're dealing with the Mayans.
Okay.
And to give people a better understanding of reverse Wonder Woman, while Diana was warrior bred to come to help the world of man, Elisa, according to part of her heritage, is supposed to be the outsider that comes in to save her people. Because she doesn't know she's been an outsider for most of her life.
Yeah.
She has no idea, no clue what she's about to get into. She has no clue about what she going to get into in the second story arc. None. Zero.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's kind of like I guess. Well, in a way, I know this is not a good comparison, probably, but like when Superman first came here and Kal-El first came to Earth, he didn't know where he came from or nothing. Like he didn't know he was from Krypton until he got older, right? So it's kind of like
until he was old enough to understand the technology that was left in his spaceship.
Pops has got some good questions tonight.
Yeah, so we got a local creator here that struggles with keeping artists on board and keeping them on schedule. Do you have to have harsh conversations with yourself to meet deadlines? Yes, you do. Now, mind you, let me show you. Let me show you something. This goes right into what Pops was asking about. These 3 covers right here, done by Terry Huddleston. Great artist. Very good artist here.
Mm-hmm.
Deadlines, he has a little problems with deadlines, but you have to have that stern warning about, we got to get this done, we got to get that done. It's like, I know you want to get paid, money's there, just make certain you get the work done.
Yeah.
And then this is issue number 7, Seth Wilson variant. Had no problems with it. He was on deadline and everything, but the main thing that he made me aware of, don't ask him too much for backgrounds. And I was like, okay, I could make this work. Just put, I said, just put some police tape behind there and you good. He's like, all right, let's go. So yeah, you have to have those heart-to-heart talks when you deal with other artists dealing with your work here and making certain that you hit deadlines and everything.
Yeah.
With Kimberly Mosberry, when she did the interior arts for issue 2, 3, and 4, we were working like, side by side. So there was really no, if I could say, problems with hitting deadlines. She worked as fast as what I need her to work to make certain that everything was done correctly here. I kind of wish I had some of my other variants here. Well, actually, no. Do I have that one here? Yeah. The Greg Horn. The Greg Horn cover. This is one of 2 that he did for me. So AWF number 5 is going to be the second one that's going to get released. I know it's been overdue. I just haven't been able to get it drawn here. As an amends for being late on the second cover, he actually allowed me to have a specialized commission that went into my personal collection. But yeah, you have to have those heart-to-hearts from time to time to be like, hey, I really need this by this date because, you're costing us money. You costing us time.
I can imagine sometimes artistic types are not, they don't really think about the business part of it sometimes, right? They're just trying to, or maybe they're taking too long to get it done,
or they're trying to strive too much for perfection.
Yeah, my mom's an artist. She does a lot of oil paintings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she'll do something, it'll look brilliant, Joe. And she go, oh, it's not done yet. I got to add some more touch. And she'll work on it for another 2 weeks. I'm like, it's already done. I don't see what you're seeing. She just has to, she wants it perfect. It's not, but like, then somebody, she'll like do it for a commission and somebody look at it and go, oh, this is gorgeous. And she still's like, I don't know if they're going to like it. And I'm like, I know they're going to like it. It blew me away. But like, artists are like that. Yeah.
They're going to say it's perfect. Well, I still feel like I messed up there. It's like, no, don't touch it. Stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just don't.
And I'm guilty of that on my own. I always downgrade my own art, and people up here are like, no, stop doing that. It's like, no, I see what all these bigger names are doing right now.
Yeah.
Like I guess I go and show you these 2 because I have to get them prepared to go to CGC eventually here. Like this was one that I did over C2E2. This is a front and back, by the way. This is a front and back that I did pretty much using Prismacolors and everything. So that's an actual Storm number 1. That's an actual Storm number 1. So I just wanted people to know that, yeah, that's an actual.
Oh, wow.
So that's a front and back one that I did off of a Storm number 1. I still got some other blanks here. And every so often I will do blanks for the Amazonia series too.
Okay. So do you
and I would crack jokes. I got the whole thing about cracking jokes here. She's like, you get up there, it's like, are you kidding me? And then you turn around on the back, it's like, oh, I thought the back was going to be blank, It's like, oh, I thought there was nothing on the back cover, so it's her, I like cracking jokes like that here, but those are the types of things that, I would look at it and be like, I wish this could be better. It's like I know how other people are and how people are art snobs and all this other stuff. It's like I need to get better. I need to get better at this. I need to get better at that. I
Ain't
need to
that?
do more. I
Ain't
need to do
that?
more to get people's attention. But I do okay. I do okay. Do you see this evolving into a self-sustaining business in a few years, or do you do this just we way past the hobby phase? We're thousands of dollars. I talked about thousands, like in 6-digit thousands of dollars into this now. Self-sustaining business, probably so. Profitable where you can make your own living, not just yet. Nowhere close. Why? No distribution. So I'm not getting distributed to brick and mortar stores as of yet. I had some decent success being on Comixology and Global Comics digitally, but even with that being said, it's still not enough money to be like to make a true living off of it. It's like
Yeah.
I got to the point with Comixology before Amazon took them over
Yeah.
that was making at least a extra value meal at McDonald's a month.
Oh,
Now I'm making a tenth of that now on Amazon. But with Global Comics been somewhat fair. I'm almost back to getting the inflated extra value meal over there from the digital side of things here.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't do it if you didn't love to do it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the whole love of it. Is you have to have the love of telling a story.
Yeah, yeah. Well, eventually, maybe like so. If anybody wants the books, though, to me to make 100%, like to buy it from your website, right? No, it's not.
Right. If you buy it directly from me, I get 100% of the profit from it. And to be quite honest, it was some books I'm not even making what it takes to print it. I have to sell in volume, which means that let's just say if I print up 2,000 books, I might have to sell 1,000 to actually see the rest of the money as profit. It's those type of things here.
Yeah.
And see, it's like I want to know why. No, it's not an obsession. It's not an obsession here. It's just one of those types of things here. Because I'm up here, it's like if you read Amazonia and you read Prime Time Saturday Night here, and this is one of the thing that Eric caught on to. It's like most of the main characters are very, very tall. It's not like there's other characters that are not below 6 foot. There are a lot of characters that is below 6 foot in these stories. It's just more along the lines that the main focal points of the characters, the main focus are the characters that are a bit taller and everything to that.
I'm also interested in like Aaron was talking about the. He said he wants to check out AWF.
Right.
See, are you ready for prime time?
That's the behind the scenes here. This is the behind the scenes stories behind Primetime Saturday Night. This book is the parent book of Primetime Saturday Night.
So do I need to read Primetime Saturday Night first?
No.
Before read AWF? Okay.
No. These are. I designed Primetime Saturday Night to be the WWE, AEW / wrestling broadcast, while this is like the behind the scenes type stuff. This will give you more in depth about what the characters are about and in their day to day and how they really are in real life, as opposed to what you see in the actual ring in Primetime Saturday Night.
I have another question about that. Is this wrestling? Is it like an all female wrestling league or?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah!
All female superpower pro wrestling. Main things that does not happen. There are no power blasts. So you don't see energy attacks, power blast, or anything to that magnitude. It is 100% wrestling on a uber scale, meaning that people get power bombed from 20 feet in the air.
Okay.
We're almost getting to the level. If you ever, what is the name of it? If people remember Ultimate Muscle or Kikiko Man over in Japan. it's kind of like, you know, a superpowered version where you don't have the quirkiness of what they could do over there on like Ultimate Muscle, but at least here you have I have invented different stuff that's in this book that it's interesting. The fights.
Well, I definitely want to check out, like Aaron was talking about after Hero Scott. He wanted to get into more of it.
Yep.
And when I got some money, I'm going to get the AWF ones for sure, Joe. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
because he was talking about something about he wanted to see more Chief Mother Eagle.
Oh yeah,
Chief Mother, and I'm going to let Aaron know this here. Chief Mother Eagle was to be designed to be the true foil to Ellen. If you like Chief Mother Eagle, because Chief Mother Eagle, she has power, but her specialty is submission.
Okay.
Ellen is a submission master. Her primary mode or her persona is a dominatrix that
all right
subscribes into submission. Her motive, and people don't understand her motive. It's like, and I believe Coca Castle has said it several times over. Ellen should have been a AWF champion, but she doesn't want it. That's how good she is at submitting people. She feels that it serves her no purpose to be AWF champion. That's how good she is. That's the reason why we introduced Chief Mother Eagle. Chief Mother Eagle by Patrick was like, she's one of the dirtiest. She could be one of the dirtiest players in the game, but yet at the same time, there's a bit of honor about her in doing so.
Okay, yeah.
But I haven't set up the actual, if I could say, in-ring story just yet for them to meet. Just like how I did in issue number 5 with Maxi Muscle and Brickhouse. They finally had their first match together. And that's going to start a brand new rivalry.
Do they have like do you have them cutting promos on each other or anything in the?
Yes.
Like, oh hell yeah.
You got promos, you got even commercials and everything up in there.
Oh,
you
that's
got
awesome.
Dedicated finishers, tag team finishers. One of the things that my editor Elaine Haygood loved from issue number 5, I came up with the Southside Curse Stomp as a finisher, a tag team finisher.
Yeah.
And if a person actually did it in real life, somebody's clavicle is crushed.
They'll be gone. Yeah, that's it. Like
you're dead. Yep.
It's like an exaggerated, like in a good way though, like like a comic book way exaggeration.
Mm-hmm.
But you sold me on it already. I'm sold. So can I get like the first issues? Are they still available? Or?
Yes, and they're still available. And if you really want to read it, read some of the books here. If you sign up for the mailing list on the website, you could get the first issues for, I believe, Amazonia and Primetime Saturday Night. Let me check. Yeah, Amazonia and Primetime Saturday Night #1. If you sign up, if you could go to the website.
All
here.
right. All right, let's go back up there. All right. Sorry.
If you fill out this form here, you get digitally, so Amazonia 1 and Primetime Saturday Night 1 PDF wise for free.
All right. Can you still get a physical copy like from the store or?
Yeah, you can still buy it from the store. You can still buy the physical copy from the store.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, if you don't have the money right now, you're really curious.
Yeah, I'm
sign
curious.
up for the mailing list, and that's the fastest way that you get it for
right.
free. Pops. I don't do as many conventions because I do have a regular 9-to-5 now. I wish I was doing that solely as a business. If I was doing comics 100% solely as a business, I would be doing every last show that I could get into cheaply. but usually I do 1 to 2 major shows a year. And usually that either boils down to either doing like C2E2 in New York, C2E2 in San Diego. Local shows I don't do very well at because I'm not a known name as of yet. So people don't know who I am per se. And then they look at, the primetime Saturday night stuff and everything. And it's like, oh, women wrestling and everything. So I get the people who point and giggle and laugh at the designs and all the other stuff here until they find out, oh, that's kind of cool. So on the surface, I get laughed at and mocked, but until they realize what I actually have, that's when they really start paying attention.
Well, you know what? The one thing is about that though now was like how AEW and WWE are. Even though I don't really like a lot of what WWE does sometimes, but like their female division is really strong. It ain't like back in the day. It used to be like, okay, we had like 2 girls that could actually wrestle, and the rest of them we're gonna let them mud wrestle or do a bra and panties match. So like it's kind of the female wrestling has elevated itself a lot. I think the last several years. So
I'm going to let you guys in on a secret here. When I designed the AWF and Primetime Saturday Night, I didn't base it upon WWE. I based it on Japanese stardom. If you ever followed women Joshi wrestling in Japan, a lot of those girls know how to wrestle and they know how to tell a story in the ring.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's just now. It was like after what did they do? The Evolution pay-per-view where it was all women's pro wrestling. Here, that's when we started to see the influx of better women wrestlers, and no longer considered popcorn matches. There's now serious matches now.
Yeah, it's time to go take a pee break. They used to joke about that, like now I think in Japan, it was always taken more seriously first than it was over here in the States. But like it seems it's kind of cool that the States have kind of caught on a little bit more, like I think there's might be a long way to go, but Aaron's got another question for you. He wants to know how come you don't ever do Kickstarters?
I have done Kickstarters in the past, but I stopped doing them.
Okay.
Why? I stopped doing them because crowdfunding, in my point of view, for the types of book that I do not see any traction there. For some reason, crowdfunding platforms I don't really see much of an audience there for me. And the reason I really stopped doing them over the last 2 years is because of the simple fact that the majority of my audience is here, either on YouTube or the people that see me at shows. So for me to go to a platform to give them X amount of dollars for raising money and capital to have books printed doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Now, if I were more popular and people had discretionary money just to throw at me, that I might go back. But right now, it's not worthwhile here. Do you print a specific number of issues, or do you have to consider? No, I do print on demand. I do print on demand. I'm not there yet for offset printing. If I was there for offset printing, I would be in a bigger hole in the thousands of dollars, because when you do offset printing, you're literally printing like thousands of copies here, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10,000 copies of a book. Then you have the overhead of storage where you're going to put those 10,000 books. And once you have those 10,000 books stored, you now have to go into storage, take the amount that you need out, go to all these different shows and everything, and just sell until you can recoup your losses here.
And I can imagine that you could probably, if you actually had distribution through like local shops, you could consider doing that. But like in the current state, you really can't think about that because, like you said, it'd be financially a disaster probably if you know.
No, it wouldn't be a disaster. It's just that not a lot of brick and mortar stores want to come directly to the creator. That's the real problem. There's like They are so trained on going through like Diamond or Lunar and all these different places
Yeah. Okay. I
to
see what you
to
mean.
come to directly to a creator to be like, hey, I need 50 copies of this. And it's like I would be like, woohoo, I'm ready to go. Send me the check. I get those 50 books out to you. It
All right.
makes it harder on them because that's one extra order that they have to do instead of one big order through like Lunar, where they
Okay.
just have to check a box and number of issues here.
Aaron says he says actually fun to read. I did dig the matches and the commentators too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Aaron's told me about it a lot. Like when I talk to him, and like it makes me really want to read it. So I didn't really know a lot. Admittedly I didn't know a lot, going in, but like when I started looking at the website, I said, man, these are really cool. I like Amazonia too. That I really like the sound of that.
That's the book that surprised me more so than anything because I almost gave up. I almost gave up on doing the whole comic thing. And it was two things that stopped me. And you would never guess what two things stopped me.
What was it?
One, Comixology took interest in it because I submitted it to Comixology for digital distribution.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want AWF. They was like, this one's okay, but they said no. Send us that. We'll help you. Send us this one. I actually met one of the co-founders of Comixology that following year. He came and sought me out.
Oh, cool.
And he said, you got something there. People on our staff is reading this book and loving it. You have something there. And he was like, get your lettering tighter. And he just giving me all these bullet points to check off to make it better. The second thing, a similar thing happened at San Diego. One of my colors was going around with his portfolio and everything, and people took notice about what we was doing with Amazonia. I almost gave up on that book because nobody was really buying it at first. Everybody was buying AWF. When AWF 1 through like 3 was out, I could not keep these books in house, and nobody was touching Amazonia. Nobody. Once it hit Comixology, once I started showing around San Diego, all of a sudden the tables turned.
Oh, okay.
I can't keep Amazonia in. People will buy Amazonia because just of the story. People gave up on AWF.
Well, yeah, I'm looking right now at some of the. If we could go in and look at the comics, I like this 10th anniversary edition. Elaine Haygood Virgin variant's pretty cool with the playing card.
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah, that was the one of them. It's like the 10th anniversary, for those who don't know, that was one of the few times that we actually reprinted the original issue number 1.
Okay.
So the original issue number 1, we kind of discontinued it. However, since I want to be playing nice here, let me go ahead and do this here. We move this big old thing over here. And we got to be very, very quiet here because the reason I say we got to be very, very quiet because this is from a stash that nobody needs to know about.
Okay, well, I won't tell anybody if nobody else does.
That's a copy of the original that we no longer sell anymore. We no longer sell this one, and we no longer sell this version of AWF number 1. Now, I'm holding on to these because this is from a private collector who wanted me to sign and send them in to get them graded.
Okay.
So that's why I said you didn't see them from me.
I don't know.
But these are some of the originals that are, I would say, at least in like 9 or better grade here.
Aaron says, I need the original right now, buddy.
If I talk to said individual, it will cost you a pretty penny. When I say a pretty penny, we're talking about 3 figures, low 3 figures, maybe like $150, $200. Because again, I'm not printing those ever again. I'm not ever printing that in that format. They're done.
Pop said his lips are sealed for the right price. So
see, I like Pop. Pop's is good. He's good people.
Yeah, he is. I met him last year at Heroes Con.
Oh, okay.
You got any plans of going to any more conventions anywhere?
This year, no.
Yeah.
This year, no. I'm all convention out because of the simple fact that I'm trying to get more issues done. I got 4 titles to get issues done now. To get new issues done for. That takes time. Especially since you have a regular 9 to 5. It's like I get off of work and be like, do I feel like working on primetime Saturday night? Do I work on Legends of the Giantess Slayer? Do I get back on the Bristol boards and draw Amazonia? Or do I really get on the Bristol boards and draw the overdue issue number 5 here? So that's one of those things here.
He wants to know if I would like the jugs or not.
That's her right there.
Yeah, well, I like her already, Aaron. Yeah, I was looking at some of these issues. I'm definitely gonna check this out. I have to wait till I have a little money, but
yep.
Yeah, definitely I'm gonna check these out, brother.
Yep, that's her. And just to let people know, that was the Kickstarter version of number 1, as opposed to the original A cover. That's the original A cover, and that was the Kickstarter number 1 that we came out with when we was running on Kickstarter. So yeah, I have done crowdfunding, but I don't have a curated following to do crowdfunding.
Do you think maybe if you ever did, you would consider going back?
Oh yes. But you have to build that audience beforehand, and you also have to build that audience to kind of trust crowdfunding and trust Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It's not just that building an audience, it's building an audience that likes a platform.
Well, also, I would assume building an audience that will come back for more.
Well, you want an audience that will come back for more to you.
Yeah.
But I hate to say, we're in a day and age where people are more dedicated to the platform than the person who created the work.
Well, yeah, I see a lot of people, to be honest with you, they will just it's not even about the Kickstarter, like the story of the Kickstarter. there are people that chase artists on there, like on Kickstarter, like Eom or Flops or people like that, and they actually just chase the covers, and I don't even know if they read it, to be honest with you. But like
they don't. But Pop's comment is exactly what I need. It's like, stop wasting time talking about it. Give it to the drawing table.
Yeah, well, thanks, Pops. I don't know if I yeah, he probably does need to get back to it. But I appreciate you. You know, I know time's precious for you. You know, you're under deadlines and.
No, you're good. You're good, man. I just appreciate stuff like that here. It's like, do you have a favorite character that you like to write in AWF here? Yes. Surprisingly enough here. I like writing the commentators. I like writing the commentators, and I like writing Summer Aston, the backstage interviewer. Summer is my version of Mean Gene Okerlund. It's like she rolls with the punches, but don't make her mad. I haven't got her in one of her really angry spots as of yet. But I have seen people who have made her perturbed, and you can visibly see that she was getting upset. But the commentators and her are some of the people that I like writing, because they're the ones reacting to the matches. They're the ones that have to bring the excitement somewhat to these matches, and to bring more depth into the actual story behind it. And that's the fun part of it. It's not, if I could say it this way, for those who love action comics, it's not easy writing a fight, and it's not easy writing a believable fight. It's easy, to write let's just say, use Captain America for example. It's easy to write a fight with Captain America where he takes out 15 people with his shield by itself. But it's harder to write a fight from beginning to end, where you have that ebb and flow of like, the bad guy takes an early lead in the actual fight, then slowly our main face comes back, and then all of a sudden, here comes that one shot that nobody saw coming, and that's like, it's over for the face, and this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah, and now he's getting mud hole stomp, and this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh no, he whiffed. He set it up for the finisher. Boom. Stuff like that is not easy to write, because you have to write within the skill sets for the wrestler. So if you have somebody that's is a tactician and a submission specialist, they have to figure out a way to get the opponent to the ground. And once they're on the ground, it's like, they got all these different moves. Or if somebody's a luchador, you have to keep them moving. The more that they move, you could illustrate how fast they might go, or how they're doing all of these different flips and stuff up in the air, and it's like poetry in motion and all this other stuff, and artistic. Or you got the old school bruiser, just comes in there just like 1-2 punches, like, oh my goodness, are they knocked out?
Like Bruiser Brody type or something,
right?
Yeah. Just go there and be a straight up brawler. Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's fun. It's fun once you get the hang of it, but it's not like writing action for like a regular comic book.
Yeah. Well, I know this is probably unrelated. I don't know if this is unrelated or not, but like, it's like when you're doing like a choreography like they used to do in Rocky. You got to do it a certain way. It's not like, okay, as inconceivable is like in a Bruce Lee movie or whatever, or Jet Li. You got 50 dudes. They're not all going to just run at you individually. So that's a different kind of fight. Like you're saying with Captain America taking out the shield and fighting off like 6 Hydra agents or whatever at the same time. So yeah, you got it. Do you have to, you find you have to choreograph the fight or like storyboard it before you like write it into it?
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I write by the seat of my pants, and other times I actually choreograph everything. I sit a couple of days and literally write down how the match is going to go.
Okay. And
it took me, let's see, do I have it here? It's in this one. It's in 4. By the way, this is the variant of 4, one of the Kickstarter variants for issue number 4. So for those who don't believe I have done Kickstarter, I did Kickstarter. It's just not for me. I just accept that.
That's cool. You still get it out there in your own way. That's what matters, though. You're getting it out there.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. This is it's like, I'm going to read it verbatim before I actually show you these 2 pages here. So, this is where Juggernaut and Mano Majestic, they're kind of fighting one another to kind of like a draw, and then they go to, it's like they finally get up. Mano Majestic runs to the corner. It's like she was like, it's time to finish it. It's like, and she calls out to Juggernaut. It's like, are you woman enough to duel me? So there's up there, like they get up to opposite sides of the ring, and the first time they actually had a turnbuckle duel. And what a turnbuckle do in this one, in primetime Saturday night, is they are opposite sides of the ring. They're on the top turnbuckle. One jump, and it's nothing but brawl in the air.
Oh wow.
So I wanted to show the big screen before I could show you what I'm talking about here. So pretty much, they fought to a standstill. They're getting the cobwebs. Madam Majestic runs to the corner, and then that's when she's up here kind of like calling out, it's like, it's time to finish this. Are you willing enough to duel me? So Juggernaut gets onto her side, the corner on her side. They're both perch on the top, and they both leap, and they just going at it, one right after another, and they're still in midair. So you have to think they're up so high. They're up so high in the air that they could do all these different moves before they hit the ground and everything here. But I'm going to leave it there.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you what ends up happening. I'm not going to show you what ends up happening, but that's one of the things that you can expect. Do you have character training cards of your characters with stats and abilities? I started designing them, but I gave up on them because of the simple fact that nobody was buying them.
Oh.
I could go back and try to recreate them and re-release them again, but that reminds me. See, one of the things that I could tell Pops here, another reason why I also have not been on the drawing table here, is that I'm on the final leg of having the primetime Saturday night role-playing game done.
Oh, cool.
So there's going to be a role-playing game for primetime Saturday night. We did this in conjunction with Lockdown Games here. If you don't know Lockdown Games, you need to look up Nicholas Anthony Tockard. He is a gaming master when it comes to role-playing games. He has created several different systems here. One of those systems is called the +2 system that primetime Saturday night is based off of. Simple, easy to run and everything. I just have to finish, describing all the finishers for this one appendix, and then I give it over to Elaine, get her to edit the full thing here, and then I got to figure out if I'm going to go to what's his name, Mixon, to get those books printed in softcover and hardcover books. Yep. Tap it. We got to tap in the market, and that's one of the things that I was going to talk about probably Saturday. Now you got me thinking about Saturday again. I don't want to ruin exactly what I'm going to talk about on Saturday, but with Marvel Studios now taking over the comic book division for Marvel,
yeah,
it got me thinking in such a way that I'm wondering if there's going to be another changing of the guards when it comes to comics here.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that move and what could come from that move, meaning that a lot of the old heads that's in comics are going to get ready to leave. They're going to start treating us as the dinosaur.
Which they kind of do anyway, yeah.
It's sad to say it that way, but they're doing it in such a way where it makes me wonder, it's like, what's going to happen with the source material? Does the source material mean anything anymore?
Well, so also it concerns me because I know they're owned by corporations, like, DC's owned by Warner Brothers, getting ready to be owned by Paramount, and Marvel obviously is owned by Disney. At what point are they going to think that they'll get in their heads? Because a lot of people are already in this thing about like AI is the way of the future, right? And we're just going to they could start little. I'm afraid they'll start little, like, oh, you know what? We'll still hire somebody to do the pencils, but we'll get AI to color it. And then they'll think that's okay. Then they'll try to do more. If they ever go like that, though, I'm going straight back to back issues. And that's it. There's just no way I would not support that. What do you think of that, Joe?
Well, this is what I think, and this is where a lot of the shared interest that other creators have if you're doing your own thing on the independent circuit here, this starts our renaissance.
Yeah.
You could get the corporate type stuff, or you could come to where the innovation is actually happening here on the independent side from people
Yeah,
like
yeah.
myself and other creators that don't have the corporate backing.
Yeah.
Because we're going to put out more interesting stuff than what they're going to do in the long run here.
Well, also I've seen a lot here lately, even though I don't know how much we can consider Image indie. I know they let
It's not.
you
It's
know what I
not.
mean. Like,
It's
but
not
like
really independent anymore.
I see a lot of like the Mad Cave and companies like that though, like
Mhm,
Ignition Press. It's been real hot,
mhm.
and I see like there's a lot more appetite for more independent minded things now.
But
Uh,
that's amongst those who actually read the books,
yeah, yeah, that's true.
and that's
Is that
that's where the problem lies at. And then with, like I said, the corporations taking over in these
yeah?
spaces for the established IPs, it's going to make it harder for us to get noticed. But when we get noticed, it will send shockwaves, because those corporations are going to be like, well, how is that book selling, but yet our Superman is not? Because it's not Superman. It's something that you're trying to market, or your marketing department here is doing.
Well, I
Whenever
think
marketing departments becomes your editor in chief, there's a problem.
well, what I think also is a slippery slope with this Disney deal is when are they going to do stuff like, you know what, that doesn't really I'm just going to make up something. Oh, we're doing a new Moon Knight movie. Say they're making a Moon Knight movie, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, you know what, I know Jed McKay, you're doing pretty good on this Moon Knight run, but we're going to end it because we want to start it over and make it match what's going on in the movie. You know what I mean? Like they'll like your ideas are great, but we want it to be like it is in the screenplay.
Well, here's the problem with that. That's why I said they're going to treat us like dinosaurs, because I see that actually might happening sooner than later.
Yeah,
But the thing about it is, what they're hoping for is flawed. It's based upon flawed logic. And I've talked about this several times on Front of Desk of a Small Press Publisher. Movie audience is different from television
yeah,
audience, which is
I
different
agree.
from the comic book
Yep,
audience
yep.
here. Somebody that would go and watch a Marvel movie may never want to go and pick up a Marvel book. Period.
I have friends. They've never picked up a comic book and they watch the Marvel movies, the DC movies, but they wouldn't buy a comic book.
They don't have no clue about the source material, and they don't care. So if they even go to that route to say, "Oh, we're going to match it what we got on, in the movies," that movie going to be like, "No, just give me another movie. I don't want
Yeah,
this. Give me another movie."
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like they did that with so the animation side, like okay,
Mhm,
before I think Disney bought them out, and
mhm.
Marvel made this mistake. There was a great animated series in the mid 2000s. It was called Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it was more like the comic books, right? It was like Man of Action. I don't know if you heard of it, Man of Action, but he's like he used to work on
Man
Ben
of
10.
Action, aka the father of things such as Generator Rex, Ben 10.
Yes, yes.
What was the other one? There was another one that was on Fox. I can't think of his name,
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah, he has
that's
done
the
some
same.
very
Yeah,
big series
yeah,
back in
yeah.
the 90s.
And well, this was like okay, so it was like they would have an episode from the straight out of Thor. I mean, I'm talking straight out like Kirby Thor, like this
Hmm.
hostage Earth,
Hmm.
that storyline. Or they'd have the Kree Skrull War,
Hmm.
and it was pretty much like a condensed version of it for younger audiences. Although I was a grown man and I still liked it. But
They
then,
had Korvac Saga
yeah, they had
on
the
Earth
Korvac
My
saga.
Hero.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then the Avengers movie came out and they
Avengers
ended it.
Assemble happened.
Yeah, and they and Avengers Assemble. And in my opinion, on two fronts, they tried to shoehorn it into the movies, and they tried the animation looked too. I don't know what they were doing with the animation. That was another problem. But like they ruined a good series because they wanted it to match what was going on the silver screen.
I forgot the other one that you made me thought about here, because I kind of felt that way with whatchamacallit, from Spectacular Spider-Man to Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah. I know what you mean. Where he's supposed to be an agent of Shield, which I was like, Spider-Man would never be an agent of Shield.
Nope.
He don't roll like that. Like I remember when he was like thinking about going to adventures, he's like, "No, that's not my style. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't roll with you guys." But like, or they kicked
But
him
then
out
again, I
that one
did
time.
like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. If you ever watched that animated series,
That was
Friendly,
good. That was really good. I really enjoyed that one. And I think my two of my all-time favorites though would obviously be Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and the Spider-Man in the '90s, the '94 Spider-Man. I thought that was a good one.
see, I don't know. I'm probably one of those weird people. If I have to rank Spider-Man cartoon series, it's still going to be right now. It's still going to be Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends because it was fun
Yeah.
and jokey and everything. I didn't care too much for '90 Spider-Man, but in that second spot, I put '67 Spider-Man. 1967 Spider-Man
Oh yeah,
because
that's a good one. Yeah.
they kind of matched to what was in the comic books, but
Yeah.
it wasn't exactly that. It wasn't comic book, but it was close enough where you got the feel of it. Yeah,
I
Disney
don't.
had a track record of tanking every IP they take control of, keep them change my mind. No, you actually have a point
Yeah, he got. I
because
can't. Yeah, he
you have to
does.
look at Pixar. Why did Pixar pull away from Disney? There's a reason. Yep, 67 Spider-Man. I mean, from the music to the moves and the way that they told the stories, even though it was kind of corny at times, it's still a good Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the thing is like I think what happened too with like the Disney versions is like okay, like they're riding on this big high right after Endgame. Uh, one of the highest grossing movies, you know, probably the highest grossing movie they ever had, I guess. Um, and then they're like, I think they overthink themselves and they go, well, we can just do whatever we want now. And so like some of it wasn't up to par, and it was like one right after the other, right? So people are like, oh, I just don't have no. The confidence started going lower and lower, like in the audience, right?
Mhm.
So now it's like even if they put something that's quality out, it's like I don't know if I want to go see that. I'll just wait till it comes. And streaming's another thing. People just like, oh, well, it'll be on streaming in a month. I remember when Thunderbolts came out, people were like, yeah, it'll be on streaming in a month or two, and they're right. They're right. It's I think also that, but I think it also goes into like COVID and the streaming structure, the
Well,
corporate structure. Yeah,
that I was about to get ready to say. COVID messed up a lot of things, and the main thing that messed up everything during COVID times was, sadly enough, the Black Widow movie.
yeah, yep,
It had promise and it failed. And then you screwed over your lead financially.
yeah. And she had to sue him.
She had to sue it, and now we no longer have her as as a Black Widow. And because of that, that leaves a major hole in the Marvel universe, because in the cinematic universe, because we will never have a resolution between her and Bruce now.
Yeah. Well, then they killed her off in the I don't know, but I was upset when they killed her off because she was one of my favorite characters from the movies. But and I was always a Black Widow fan anyway. I when I was a kid, my older cousin gave me a bunch of the Daredevil. Remember when Daredevil wasn't selling so good, so they teamed him up with his Daredevil and Black Widow.
Right,
I
yep.
had a bunch of those, and I always just liked Black Widow because she's really pretty, and she's a badass.
She was a very badass in her very
Well, like
beginning of the
the
origin, but
thing,
when they actually started giving her layers, I was like, oh, she's really like that.
the thing
This is
about
this is like
the thing about Loki, Aaron, I don't know what Joe thinks, but like it started out really good, but then like they had that shit that happened with Jonathan Majors, so then they pull the eject button on him, and
which
it
they
kind of, I
shouldn't.
think,
They jumped the gun with Jonathan Majors,
yeah,
and that's the sad thing. They looked at, okay, if this actually did happen, the PR would be so scandalous that we have to pull the plug. They had no credible evidence up to that point. After all the courtroom drama was done, both on the criminal and the civil side of it, he was pretty much found innocent of it. They lost all their storylines for what they had planned for. What was it, Phase 4?
yeah, I think 4.
Because again, Phase 4 was King.
Yeah,
Now all of that got dropped,
yeah, it's gone, just like that.
gone. Because we were supposed to have the Council of Kings coming, because you had Quantum Mania, where we had the quote unquote comic book King that was supposed to have been that in that one. Loki had one of the versions of the Council of King in it. But Loki had a good redemption arc, so that's the reason why Aaron brought him up. It's like, if Loki did not have a redemption arc, it would have been a waste. It would have been a waste as a
Like,
whole here.
I kind of wondered though why. I thought it was kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought Ant-Man was an odd choice to introduce somebody like Kang in.
Well, actually, it wasn't, because Ant-Man would have been perfect, because who would, again, he would underestimate a person like him. He will underestimate a Scott Lang trying to take him down.
Oh yeah.
You have to also think about it. They was trying to introduce Cassie more so than anything, because one of the plots that was going to end up happening in this phase is they were making a move towards Young Avengers.
Yeah.
In the bigger scheme of it. So they
Kate
had Cassie, they had Kate, they have already introduced Kate.
And they Yelena.
They introduced Bradley's grandson.
Yeah.
The only thing, they introduced Wanda's twins already. The only thing that they haven't introduced was young Tony Stark.
Yep. And another thing, like like another show that, like, I think some people didn't like it, but the Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Right. That was a great series.
Isaiah Bradley thing was like, I was like, whoa, I can't believe, I was so happy they went with that, because that Truth comic was so good. It was just such a great take on it. And like, they kind of did a thing here with X-Men United here recently, where it's like Cap was trying to get Emma Frost and her brother to help him track down anybody else that the government had experimented on, right? And I highly recommend like issue 2 and 3, Joe. And they meet this guy who was his father, this young black kid. His father served in World War I, and at the time his son didn't know he was a mutant yet. And like, they get ran out of the South because he told his dad to wear his uniform on Armistice Day or whatever, before we had the 4th of July or whatever. And like, they kill his dad, and he's like, has to go on this train and go up north. And it's a really interesting story. It was like something I'm surprised Marvel, like, Marvel would do right now, because sometimes a lot of their stuff's just like sterile. Although they have some pretty good books right now. But yeah, it was actually interesting to check out. But I don't know. I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent there. But
no, that was a good tangent, because we were talking about Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah.
Because I thought about the Captain America movie that came afterwards.
Yeah.
And again, a waste of Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
As
I agree. Yeah. And like, it kind of felt like at the last minute they were like, "Oh, we're afraid Anthony Mackie can't carry this movie," because it seems like that's the way I felt about it. Like, because I like him as Sam Wilson, and I mean, I knew at some point, I don't know if it bothered some people, but it never bothered me that he was Captain America when they did it in the comics,
that doesn't bother me.
Sense. It made sense.
And in the books, it made sense too, because the mantle was literally given to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
hey, Fable.
Yep.
And I don't know, I just thought the way they did it, And like it's kind of crazy because even 10 years ago, it seemed like the comics were doing like the writing was way more interesting. But like it's like they've lost so many writers. I
Well,
hate to keep talking about it, but like they used to
no,
have a lot
they
of great
haven't lost
writers
the
there.
writers. They haven't lost the writers. They just didn't care. They just didn't care. The studio said, "This is what we want. This is how we're going to do it." Screw the source material.
Yeah,
That's why people got upset about the whole Sam Wilson being Captain America.
yeah.
Because if you go back to the books when the mantle was handed to him, even Cap said it himself that this upcoming generation he could not reach. He knew he could not reach the generations
Yeah.
that coming up after now. He knew. And it's like, Sam, you could. You know, he'd been watching Sam. It's like, Sam, you can reach them. You have the ability to reach them. I can't. I'm too set in my ways.
He's from another. He's a man out of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And it made more sense that way.
And the movie never truly addressed that. What they addressed is like, oh, he got, you know, he went back in time to replace whatever, and
Yeah,
he stayed with Peggy and he became an old man. I was like, okay, that makes sense. That kind of makes sense, but they missed the conversation about Steve being a man out of time and cannot relate to the upcoming younger generations like he did before. He said, America has changed. I don't represent what we are today. You do.
Hey, Pops, I liked you until you said that. I'm just kidding.
Man, this is greater than Captain America.
I don't know. Well, look. The reason I say that because Joe, you know me,
Yes.
I got the shield right there. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I always looked up to Captain America even as a kid. Going back to the great Al Milgrom and Mike Zeck and J.M.D. Mateus, would write for it back then. So
I don't know. I was a big fan of the Brubaker stuff.
oh, that too though. Yeah, I just did a video.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding, Pops. I still love you, brother. I just did a video on issue 6 of that
Mhm.
because first thing about that was like they resurrected that character. I mean, he was almost dead. Like nobody wanted to read it. Like like after what Liefeld, what happened with Liefeld and that whole the was it Heroes Reborn or something
Heroes
thing? And,
Reborn, yeah.
yeah,
The image crew before they left Marvel.
yeah, and like so when this comes out, it's like a breath of fresh air. First off,
Mhm.
nobody saw that twist coming. That they're going to bring Bucky back, and he's going to be this brainwashed like super assassin that worked for Alexander Lukin. I know you do, Pops. I know you're just. I'm just taking the piss out of you, as the British would say.
Mhm.
So like you get this whole story, and like the thing about it was like it was a great creative team. You had Frank D'Armato was the colorist,
Mhm.
Steve Epting did the pencils and the inking himself, and Brubaker writing it. It was just the perfect team to be doing it.
And it just made what Steve represents that much better. And
Yeah,
that's what the writing of Brubaker did. It's like
yeah,
he had the right artist team to make those adventures really hit home.
yeah.
That it wasn't just him getting, saving the day. It was more about what he meant
Yeah. And
in
it's
those
also about
moments.
him facing the ghost of his past. Like you literally in issue 6, he
Hmm.
goes to that castle where they thought Bucky died and he sees the ghosts of all these like Zemo's guys and all that. It's really cool the way they do it. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, he's coming to grips with everything. So yeah, it's that actually that's probably the most perfect one. I have a place in my heart for the 80s stuff, obviously, but that right there is always going to have like that's actually one of the stories that like got me back into reading comic books.
Well, put it this way, I would never have a heart for John Walker. when Steve became the captain, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, Marvel. We still have Steve running around in a black suit, showing people fuck the government for right now.
Yeah. Well,
Fuck
like
the
my brother
government for right
Wolverine,
now.
yeah,
I'm right, and I'm going to show the government that I'm right in investigating this type of stuff.
yeah. Well, like
Screw
it's
you,
like
Val Cooper. Screw
like
you.
there was a great line he says in Civil War where they're like, "Are you going to register? Are you going to help us round these people up that won't register?" And he said, "It's not about governments. It's not about right or left." He said, "It's like knowing you're on the side of right and saying, no, I'm not going to move." I'm paraphrasing Joe, but you know what I
I
mean.
know. I know which line you're referencing here.
Yeah. And so that always stood out to me because I don't know. I guess it's because of my dad. He was in the Marine Corps
Hmm.
and he's a veteran. And he was in the National Guard for 20 years. And he always told me, if you give somebody your word, it's that kind of thing to me. You stand by that word no matter what.
Hmm.
So that's why I kind of like Captain America because I always felt like that's the kind of guy he was. Like he's not going to like break his. You know what I mean? I don't know.
See, that's the reason why I have a lot of respect for Frank Castle and the beating that he took from Steve.
Yeah.
It's like everybody kept looking at it. I was like, why isn't he fighting back? That's how much respect that Frank had for Steve. Because it's like, yeah, I stand by what I stand for. He stands by what he stands for. As much as I know I could fight him back to prove my point, I have too much respect for this man not to get his point across.
Yeah. And like it's kind of they have an interesting uh relationship because like Frank really does idolize him and looks up to him, and like Captain America just doesn't like anything he stands for though.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, Pops.
All right. And yeah, Pops, I will be getting back to the drawing board.
I'll see you in Charlotte in a couple of weeks, Pops, for sure. So uh he'll be down there with Legion of Comics, his son. All right, guys. Well, Joe, you got anything else you want to talk? I've kind of talked your head off there.
We went across the board and then some. I think we had a very good night because we talked about what we love, comics. That's the main thing here.
Exactly. And you know what? I really enjoyed hearing about these comics you've been creating, and I wish you the best, man. And you've made a new fan tonight. I'm just going to tell you. And guys, pinned at the top of the chat is the link for the website. Online, this is the online store, but Zyzinski Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's his YouTube channels up here at the top too. So please give him a subscription and follow him and whatever we can do to help him out.
So no, Aaron was talking about. I think Aaron was asked a last minute question here about Legends of the Giants.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I got to get it in. I'm sorry, Joe.
No. He was asking about this here. This one is my first attempt at, if I could say, at a more adult style comic books here. This is an anthology series of different stories dealing with the aspect of, if I could say it in these terms, not just the overall aspect of the fetishization of tall women. It's more along the lines of why isn't there more talk about them in lore? Because when you think about things like Jack and the Beanstalk, or anytime you mention giants as a whole, everybody automatically goes to males. What happened to the females? That's what this book explores. The anthology series explore all the different possible legends that we came up with here. And the very first 6 to 8 pages is always a lecture about some type of offshoot that comes from the aspect of the psychology of being in that type of macrophilia fetish type deal.
No, okay.
Yeah, I do homework. I do psychology homework and all the other stuff to really bring some of the topics out here.
Well, that's good. You got to kind of like research the topic you're talking about, or writing about. I mean, so everybody give a, you know what? If anything solves interest, like I said, go to his website and you can still get issue 1 of this. It's a print on demand, right? So you can get it if they want.
I can get it pretty quickly here. It's like you assume that casting Lawrence Fishburne and Ant-Man that they would crap on Black Alliance back in, but that they could crown Black Goliath back in, but Marvel hates that character. Yeah, they hate Black Goliath. They hated a lot of different characters that they could have brought back in. Just like how they killed off the so-called right wing for up in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That's like, John Walker's equivalent to Bucky. That was right wing from the book, but they didn't call him right wing. I forgot what they called him in this one.
I can't remember, but they've got a bad history of like some characters. Well, it's not just Marvel though.
It's across the board. It's just Hollywood in general.
Yeah, and like even in the comics, sometimes I'm like, why don't we have like Icon or Static Shock, or you never even see Booster Gold anymore?
Nope.
They kind of, I don't know.
It's just weird. It's just like certain characters that people may think as controversial, they just don't go with here.
They kept the Wizard, thankfully. we still got Squirrel Girl, right, and Spider Gwen. I'm just kidding.
Squirrel Girl, I could take after they rewrote her. Once they rewrote her to kind of explain how she could probably beat a Thanos and why she would have somebody like Galactus on speed dial that she could ask things of him. Once they explained that, I was like, I'm good. I'm okay. I can accept this character now. Yeah, like I would Falcon get a pet Falcon and overdress as Steve. The Falcon, the Falconeers are real. The birds of prey can be terrified. Yeah.
Well, I like the whole Falcon. I got the where's it at? First appearance of Falcon back there. I loved Falcon, and I kind of liked it when they did the Captain America thing too. But like, yeah, I don't know. At some point, they might bring him back. You never know what that Marvel will do, but they're kind of stuck in keeping him there, which I'm cool with.
I'm just happy that they did not do Demolition Dumpy.
We need to bring back.
Bring back D-Man.
we need to bring back Paste Pot Pete.
Trapster. that would be best of it. It's like they have that joke up in there all during the movie. My name is the Trapster. No, it's not Paste Pot Pete.
like some of these guys, I wish that I'd like to see more of some of these characters like Brother Voodoo, or like
whatever happened to Baron Mordo after the first Doctor Strange movie. He's going around trying to, take people's magic, and all of a sudden he just disappears into the ether. No more Baron Mordo. It's like, in my eyes, Bucky is sort of a filthy assassin. Well, they gave him a redemption arc. They gave James Barnes a redemption arc, so it works. And that's the other thing that I wanted, but Marvel's not going to do it. I wanted that short run of where Bucky took over as Cap.
Yeah, like after the death of the supposed death of Captain America, when he was in like an alternate reality or something, and they made it look like Sharon murdered him or whatever. Yeah, I like that, and like even like I also like the thing where Hawkeye. They're like, "Hey, Hawkeye, maybe you should do it." He goes, "No." He like did one mission. He goes, I'm not cut out for this shit." But yeah, like I kind of like that uniform. You got I got it here somewhere. Like on this, I got the Captain America Reborn, and Bucky has the black pants with the blue and the red, white, and blue. Yeah. The thing about characters like Bucky and Black Widow, in my opinion, the Winter Soldier, is they have done a lot of bad things in their life before they switch sides, and their whole it seems like their whole mentality is of trying to make up for that all the time.
Well, that's the reason why I kind of like Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
But then again, Crimson Guardian said it best. As much messed up stuff that he has done, it's like, you're not as much as a fuck up if you're doing one thing correct.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you might mess up a whole bunch of other stuff, but if you're doing one thing correct, you have that one thing to always fall back on to make certain that you stay, to yourself that you're proud about something, no matter how bad other things may be.
Well, what was cool about that team too is like they were all basically a bunch of f ups. You know what I mean? Like you had like John Walker had fucked up stuff, and all of them had done something bad in their past. Even like Century has to control his demons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of liked it, but like that's the thing I'm saying about Marvel though is like by the point they made that movie, nobody wanted to go see it because they thought it was just going to be crap like the rest of them.
Well, the other thing that had happened was I didn't like the Contessa after that. They made the
Yeah.
Contessa a fuck up. And I was like, out of Shield history, the Contessa does not fuck up like that. She doesn't. She does not double down on anything that she cannot control. So it was just kind of weird that had happened. It's a funny comic. Hulk meets a nuke Russian ruins and what's his name? I know what guy you're talking about now. I know what guy they're talking about. That was something that I think they brought back from Hulk history, because that was the whole reason why the gamma bomb went off on him in the first place, because they had a Russian spy on Gamma base.
Yeah.
Or was it Valles Verde? That was the name of the city, Valles Verde, at least according to Agents of Smash.
Yeah.
Where the original Gamma base was at.
Wasn't Blonsky like a Russian though? Then that was in the SAS or something like that.
Blonsky was either Russian who defected to South America, or he was something. But I remember that his base of operation before he became Abomination was South America.
Yeah. And I love the Hulk, all the Hulk lore, although.
And they messed up the whole thing about Talbot. There's no Talbot. Well, technically there is Talbot, but Glenn Talbot was not attached to Hulk.
Oh, okay.
He was more attached to the Avengers.
And what I kind of liked was that storyline. I think it was Peter David, where the Hulk was like the crime boss, like
Joe Fixit.
Yeah, Joe Fixit. Yeah, I thought that was great.
I have a couple of issues of it here. I still need to read it. The more recent version of what they did, Joe Fixit. They actually released a actual series called Joe Fixit.
Oh, they did. I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out. I might have been not reading at the time, but yeah, he saved Rick Jones, and that's why he got irradiated. Then Rick Jones ends up getting irradiated later, though, right? He was A-bomb.
He became A-bomb. Yeah, he was A-bomb. But that brings me to my favorite Hulk series of all time, Doc Green. People don't remember that. I believe that was Hulk Volume 2. I believe was Doc Green. And people who don't remember that, it's like in issue number 1, they talked about Bruce getting shot in his head. And the only way he actually survived is that while he was shot, he was technically brain dead, but he was able to turn into the Hulk. And by him turning into the Hulk, it kind of did something where it regenerated his brain and his brain functioning. So when he turned back, it was a lot of rehab, but he came back to his normal senses. But when he turns now, he turned one time only. He was like, no, this ends now. I gotta take everybody who's a Hulk power away from them, except for one person. And he went on this mission, and well, technically he didn't take the gamma radiation from 2 people. If you look at the full gambit of the series here, But it was interesting. It was interesting because as Doc Green, he was going around terrorizing anybody that had gamma related powers.
Yeah.
And then he messed up Thunderbolt Ross so bad it was ridiculous.
Well, he's in the new Captain America. Thunderbolts went rogue.
Again.
Well, like the thing about that Wolverine saves in the movie. Well, that's Hollywood for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so inaccurate anyway. I don't care how deep that hole was when that nuclear blast went off. Wolverine would have been fine, but that Japanese guy, he would have been dead of cancer in like 2 months, maybe less.
Well, here's the thing. Would Wolverine be completely fine? Because if he was literally burnt to a crisp by the bomb itself, is there any type of matter other than the antimantium still remaining? He needs one cell to completely regenerate itself, technically. At least that's the way that I read his total regeneration. It may take days for him to regenerate fully, but if you wipe out enough of his brain, enough of any type of organ, it's like, would there be enough marrow or cells within the antimantium, and can it get outside of that antimantium to reform itself? I think he did.
Punisher tried to like cut him up into pieces, but then I was like, how did he do that? Because how do you cut through the adamantium around his bones?
That's a good question.
You know why? Because of comics. That's why. It doesn't have to make sense all the time. It's how comics are, though, I guess.
Well, how did Sabretooth not become lobotomized after snicked?
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess
it's comics. It's comics. Exactly. It's like Wolverine popped the claw straight through Sabretooth's head while he had adamantium. It's like, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that story I heard Mark Hamill tell about when they were filming the original Star Wars film, and they were getting ready to shoot the scene after they get out of the trash compactor, right? And he's like, wait a minute. Mark Hamill's told George Lucas, he's like, it's like one of his first movies. So should our hair be wet and everything? Because we just got out of that pit. Our clothes and hair are dry. And Harrison Ford didn't even miss a beat and looked at Mark Hamill and said, look, kid, it's not that kind of movie. If they're looking at your hair, then we got a problem. We went on about 2 hours, John. I'm gonna let you go, man. It's almost 10 o'clock here. I'll let you take it easy.
I'm about to go grab a hamburger for dinner and just call it a day here and get ready for work on tomorrow.
Well, everybody, thanks for coming by. Melted Copper, Aaron.
Yep.
Everybody, have a good night.
Have a good one.
Son of Jarrell, kneel before Zod! Snitchy boochies.